Hey, Viking fans. After the cuts, players got dumped into the talent pool in free agency. Are we buyers? Let's talk about that next in three, two, one. Gather around, Skull Brothers and Sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you do what the ticker says below. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I want to hear what you got to think about these free agents, and I will respond, and we'll talk about it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so the cuts happen. We had some surprises. We talked about that all yesterday, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But there are now more players in that free agency that we can go take a look at and see if we want to bring them in. There's some old names, there's some new names, but one thing's for sure, there's a few guys in there that could help this team, and you guys decide who we should put on there. I'm going to an article, Clutch Points, top 30 available NFL free agents after cut day. Um, let's talk about it. I'm going to bring it up. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I think let's do this. There we go. So, top 30 available NFL free agents by Bailey Bassett. He does a decent condensed list that, explains what their player situation was. I went and watched video on several of these, stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't cry for me. But let's look at these guys. And I stole their picture. So sorry guys. I stole it and put it on my thumbnail. It's NFL cut day has come and gone. Multiple players were surprisingly cut from their teams, adding lots of talent to the free agent pool before kickoff of the 2023 season. Players were cut for numerous reasons, whether due to financial motivations or because they couldn't pass the teammates ahead of them in the depth chart. Another sizable group of players remain unsigned from the offseason. There are lots of high quality players worthy of roster spots who can help fill roles as regular season's fast approaches. Some of these free agents will find new homes soon as teams look to finalize their week one rosters while scouring the league for newly released players. Other free agents will have to wait until the opening is created during the season because of injuries, regardless of when these players are signed. All of them are deserving of roster spots consideration. Here are the top 30 available NFL free agents on cut day. Kendall Hinton, wide receiver. I'm going to skip the receivers. I think we're good. I don't know about you, but I think we're good at wide receiver. I'm going to skip talking about the wide receiver. I'm going to skip the punter. Kenny Golladay, let's just look at him. Golladay was well known for not living up to the contract he signed with the New York Giants, but he earned the massive $72 million contract for a reason. The 20-year-old was once a game-changing receiver for the Detroit Lions. Golladay twice had over 1,000 receiving yards in Detroit, a feat last accomplished 4 seasons ago. I like what we got. I don't need a Kenny Golladay. Gabe Jackson, offensive guard. Jackson is a 335-pound offensive lineman who can create holes for his running backs. He last played for the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, a player to look at. Offensive guard, Andrew Norwell. Offensive guard, number 26. Norwell has been a consistent piece in the interior offensive line since coming into the league in 2014. I didn't quite get down all the way to the 30th player when I was looking at film, but now defensive end, we're not impressed with our defensive line. I don't think we have any difference makers there, but there's some players that intrigue me in here. Robert Quinn, defensive end. Quinn is another former elite level defensive end who has transitioned to a situational pass rushing role in the twilight of his career. Quinn still knows how to get after the quarterback, but his recent arrest complicates things. Probably not going after a guy who's been arrested. Kyle Van Noy, outside linebacker. Now, we're pretty strong here, but let's hear him out. Van Noy was a fixture for the New England Patriots for years. Last season, he played with the Los Angeles Chargers. Even entering his age 32 season, Van Noy has never really struggled with injury problems and should be a reliable depth piece whoever signs him. Uh we got a guy, and hopefully he makes it. Luigi Villain, I'm fine with him. Yeah, if we can put him back on the roster, I'm fine. Andrew Adams, safety, skipping safety. We don't need 7 safeties. We're good. I wish we'd go down to 5 and bring back Luigi Villain. Casey Hayward, cornerback. Okay, another former starter who's past his prime. Hayward still has at least one more left in the tank. Last season, he played for the Atlanta Falcons. So if we're looking to bring in a veteran cornerback, he's an option. Akeem Hicks. Now I watched some highlights of this guy playing for Tampa. He's just a big dude. He can't move him, and that really help in the run game if we got a Akeem Hicks. At 324 pounds, Hicks is a run stopping specialist. He can clog the middle and draw double teams, freeing up lanes for his linebacker teammates to make tackles for the ball carrier. That seems like a player we could use. Is he old? Sure. Is he out of shape a little bit? Yeah, the guy's breathing heavy on the sidelines when they mic him up, but he loves football and he enjoys playing it. You can tell, and he stuffs that middle. I am not opposed to this as a rotational running down. We need a run stuffer. I'm not opposed to this, but our because we're not getting to the quarterback and we're not defending the run. But defending the run, hell of a lot bigger problem right now. So Akeem Hicks should be looked at. Miles Gaskins, running back, doesn't have. I looked at a highlight reel. He looks quick. He looks like a good running back. But then you go look at his stats, and he's 3.9 yards per carry or something like that. Gaskins led the Miami Dolphins in rushing 2020 and 2021. He fell down the depth chart this offseason, but is still a solid runner, especially between the tackles. So if Kenny Nwago goes on some sort of pup list and we need a spot starter and he's still available after week 1, not spot starter, but a backup depth piece, then yeah, he might be a guy to look at just to fill in the time like Kenny is out. Bradley Roby, cornerback. Roby was a member of the no-fly zone Denver Broncos defense and won Super Bowl 50. We're going back a ways. He has since gone to the starter for the Houston Texans and New Orleans Saints. Still could be a good player, and if we need a veteran cornerback, that would help. PJ Walker, QB. Don't need a QB. Melvin Ingram, edge. Now, looking at Ingram, best year came with the Chargers, but he had some good moments in recent years as a situational pass rusher. Edge rushers are coveted in the NFL, and Ingram is likely to help a rotation at some point this year. We need pass rush. We need freaking run stoppers. Anything. Take a look at these guys. Anthony Schwartz, wide receiver, skipping him. Denzel Mims, wide receiver, skipping him. Bryce Callahan, cornerback, is one of the best slot cornerbacks in the NFL. His game did see some regression in 2022. Okay, I'm just looking for backups. I don't know if we need a backup slot corner because we're going to play safeties there, and I don't want to take away from Blackman, but I'm really interested in Desmond King. Smart, heady player, a veteran cornerback cut at the deadline by a rebuilding Houston Texans team. King will be one of the most sought after defensive free agents in the market. For a reason, Evans, Blackman, still young. Evans with the concussions. A Desmond King could help us pretty good. He could start for us, I think. Taylor Lewan, we don't need an offensive tackle, but hell, this guy was elite, right? I wish he could play guard. If he could, sign him right now. Colt McCoy, QB. Now, don't need one. Matt Leonidas. Leonidas, a rotational defensive lineman capable helping in run support as well as a pass rusher. He moves well as 310-pound lineman. 310-pound lineman. He looks good, man. He reminds me of Dean Lowry. So that maybe better. Maybe still maybe better. Who knows? But can get up the field, strong. If he can defend against the rush too, that's even better. Carson Wentz. I'm passing on the QBs. Chris Womley, defensive line. The former Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman, 7 sacks in 2021, where his numbers fell off a cliff last year. Wormley has proven production as an interior pass rusher and coveted trait. Didn't have a lot of sacks recently, but he gets there. He gets hits on the quarterback. curious to look at him. Curious to look at him. Julio Jones, I mean, let me go back the way back machine where we would have cried if we drafted Julio Jones. Unfortunate injuries, but gosh, tempting, right? Dalton Reisner. Now, this is a name that's sticking with the Minnesota Vikings. So I did my due diligence. I'm willing to forego any deficiencies in the running game. I watched this guy pass block, and there is a thing that I learned about that I didn't know. I mean, I probably have seen it, but didn't know what it was called. And it was impressive to see when the elite linemen doing this in pass block. It's called independent hands. So if you go out and block and use both your hands, and then they swipe them both down and get by you, there you have it. You've given away your advantage. You got your hands on him, but he swipes you or rips you, takes out both your hands. Dalton Reisner is one of those guys that use independent hands. And that's where the guy's rushing. He puts one hand on him. It gets swiped. He gets the other hand on him and then puts his hands back. The guy has now wasted his move. He is now controlling that play. Independent hands all day long with Dalton Reisner. This is a guy we got to get on our team. I'm on the Dalton Reisner train. Get this guy on our team, man. Now there's a guy, Bailey Zappi. Surprising cut. He started some games for the Patriots. Apparently had a rough preseason. The guy can run the play action. He seems accurate. Got good touch. I don't know, man. That would be tough to pass up. There's a team that needs this guy. I know, but we like our guy, and we drafted him in the 5th round. Jaron Hall. So we're passing on Zappy, but boy, is that tempting, right? Ben Jones. Jones earned his first Pro Bowl in 2022, so it's very surprising he wasn't picked up during the first wave of free agency. The center is 34 years old, so he won't land a long-term contract, but his experience could be a number of teams out on the interior. If this guy's hanging around and we have an injury, a Bradbury injury, God, this would be nice to have, right? Ben Jones or Bradbury, I don't know. We have already re-signed Bradbury, so I think that's highly unlikely. Now in the running back market, again, here's Leonard Fournette. Do we need a short yardage bruising back? Fournette had 668 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns last season. While he's no longer the dominant bell cow running back, he got drafted for 4th overall in 2017. Crazy, the 4th overall. He is still a physical back who can complement quicker runners in the committee. He seems like Fournette has been around forever, but he's still only 28 years old. I doubt it, but the same reason I was talking about the other guy, in case we put Kenny on the IR. Jarvis Landry, he's got like 200 yards receiving last year. I don't know. While Landry's statistics did fall last year, he has a long and proven track record of production in the NFL. The 5-time Pro Bowler and 1-time receptions leader is a pure route runner and a great option out of the slot, although he can also kick outside as well. We're not getting another receiver, but hey, it's fun to talk about. Kareem Hunt. Hunt is one of the game's premier pass-catching backs. He formed a dominant 1-2 punch with the Cleveland Browns' Nick Chubb and was the NFL's rushing yards leader in 2017 while with the Kansas City Chiefs. With Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott recently signing contracts, Hunt is likely the next domino to fall on running back market. Interesting. We could use a 3rd down back. Proven. Now, I'm pretty high on our running backs, but Ty Chandler, I want him to be that guy. I want him to be Kareem Hunt, right? Getting the 3rd down receptions and stuff like that. And, Alexander Madison can do that too. So Kareem Hunt is just a little bit better probably at it, and more seasoned and kept catching passes out of the backfield. He's still got speed. He's still elusive. He's not super small or anything like that. So he seems like he could be a guy when we need him. And If I was to say the players that we could add that would make us better would be a Kareem Hunt, Ben Jones, if we were willing to give up on Bradbury. Dalton Reisner would help us immediately. Chris Wormley would be okay. I'm not sold on him. Leonidas, I like. Desmond King. Desmond King and Melvin Ingram is okay. Bradley Roby's okay, but I'm going with King. Gaskins could, be that third down or, be that third back again. Akeem Hicks. So Akeem Hicks, King, and Kareem Hunt would probably fix a lot of problems right now. So look at someone like those guys to come in here. Let's see if we can snag one of them. This team is not complete, and we got a week and a half. Week and a half to fix it. So look out, Quasi. He's got some things to do. We can also look at some trades, but hey, this is what we're looking at. We got some guys on the practice squad that can help the team too. But these are guys are proven. King is probably my favorite one to go get, and Dalton Reisner. So King and Dalton Reisner, let's go get them. Skull Vikings. Cue the music.